Hi, thank you so much for being with me today on One Day to Love. My next guest has starred in The Shape of Water, Pan's Labyrinth, Hellboy, so many different things that you've seen him in and loved him in, but he usually has latex on his face. So I'm really excited to present the human, beautiful face of Doug Jones. Stay tuned. There you
Hey, here we are. Hi. Look
Hey,
at you, gorgeous. Hi.
you look a lot like this guy I worked with a while back.
I remember him. Yeah, tall, goofy fella. Yeah.
Hi, Doug. How are you?
Oh, time. Yeah, I'm so good. How are you, love?
I'm great. I'm just really, really, really happy to have you today.
Oh, me too. Thank you for having me. I'm glad we finally worked out after all these many
I know,
months.
well, you're so busy. I'm not surprised it took a while.
Oh,
I
well.
have
So,
I have never watched so much sci-fi in my entire life until I was
oh,
preparing to no, it's awesome. It's awesome. It's not as scary as I thought it was going to be.
well, it depends on the story. Right, exactly. Now, the horror genre I've played in can get bloody and gruesome if at times, but that's why when I do horror, I like to make sure that it has some kind of a redeeming quality to it. So it's not
Yeah.
just blood on the wall splatter.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, you can find good stories in the sci-fi world. You
I
can.
can't get over it. I just couldn't get over it because I never go to those.
Yeah,
Never,
yeah, yeah,
ever don't buy them, don't go to them because I have a mind that if I'm seeing it, I'm having it happen to
yeah,
me.
yeah. You'll
And
dream about it. You'll live it. Yeah,
I
yeah,
can't get it out of my head,
yeah, yeah.
When I went to see The Omen,
Yeah.
it stayed with me forever.
Well, especially
The fly on the priest's head is still an issue for me when I see a fly and I'm in the desert and I see a lot of flies and I immediately go back to, oh, it's
yeah.
terrible.
Well,
You know,
especially stories like that, because I think when it's within the realm of possibility, that's when it gets truly scary. That's when you turn off the TV and go, you know,
yeah,
yeah,
you look under the bed, right? I mean, that's
yeah, yeah,
start going home and looking around. It's really, I can't do that. But
yeah,
I do suspense a lot on
yeah.
television.
Oh, yeah, right, right. The good mystery. Yeah.
Not too scary, not too scary. So I remember when I watched The Shape of Water,
Hmm.
um, I realized it had so many undertones, stories that it was trying to tell other meanings besides what we were actually seeing.
Right.
And what did you think about that when you first read the script?
Yeah. But actually, before I read the script, like a couple of years before, Guillermo del Toro and I were working on Crimson Peak together. I
Oh,
played two of his ghost ladies in that. And during lunch one day, he had pulled me into his office so we could have a little sit down chat about his next movie he wanted to make, and that was The Shape of Water. No script yet, but he was all up in here, and he had very specific he told me there's a fish man in it, and he wants me to play that fish man. I'm done. I did that for you once before on Hellboy. Is it these a different fish man? He goes, yeah, completely different. Nothing to. Okay, okay, got it. So, uh, so then he said, the important thing here is, Dougie, you're the romantic leading man of this movie. Okay, and I said, okay, in a fish suit. Tell you what, Guillermo, start at the beginning and tell me how we get through this. And so he sat there. I kind of sat like this as he told me the entire story verbally, what was all in his mind and how it was going to play out,
God, that's
plot.
incredible that he had all that in his head like that.
Oh yeah, no, he's a genius. Yeah, he stores all that. And so I'm sitting there listening to him like this, just going, oh my gosh, what a gorgeous, like you said, layers of, I mean, it's and pulling in different genres together. We had some political history, we had social issue history, we had relationship drama, we had a monster movie. There was a little horror element to it, romance for sure, and fantasy and happily ever after, and like everything.
So many things. And there
Right,
are people that wouldn't see all of those things.
right.
But even the xenophobia was just it was there. I saw it, and I didn't read about too much until till afterwards.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But I just I love the bathtub scene. I just loved all so many things about it.
Well, that was part of the part of that romance tale is that falling in love is something that most of us can relate to, whether it's our first love or many loves after. There's different vibes and feelings to it all. Eliza is established played by Sally Hawkins in such a gorgeous Oscar-nominated way.
They're beautiful.
Uh, yeah, she
Hard to do that when you don't speak.
again, right? Neither one of us spoke, and we
Reminds
fell
me
in
of the
love with.
piano,
Yeah, right. Oh, right,
Yeah.
right, right. But her character was established as very self-sufficient. She had a very regimented routine every day, and she was completely satisfied with that. She didn't know that love was around the corner for her until she met this monster. I think that was the uniqueness of this love story,
No, we
right?
didn't even say that, right?
Right, right.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
And then there was a similar looking, but not quite as charming looking. Because I thought the Shape of Water guy, did he have a name?
They just call me the amphibian man or the
Okay.
asset.
Okay. Well, he was sweet. I could see your face. I could see
Yeah,
and your eyes and
yeah.
he was actually kind of a handsome monster.
Oh, thank you,
But
darling.
yeah, I know, you're welcome. But the other thing was the Sam Abe.
Abe Sapien
Yes,
from the Hellboy movies. Yeah.
he's awesome. He's just so bright and so polished and
Yeah,
so
well, thank you.
so
But
much fun to watch.
and those two fishmen, as Guillermo del Toro will explain, he directed both these movies, by
Yeah,
the
I
way.
know. I
So
noticed.
as he would explain it, those two characters could not live in each other's films. They were both designed to match the production design. One, Hellboy, was a comic book superhero movie.
Right.
Right, so that he had more comic booky kind of style and color to him, whereas the Amphibian Man was in a historical relationship drama, and he was pulled out of the wild from the Amazon River, so we have to believe he actually came from nature. Yeah.
Right, right. I just thought that I just didn't know anything about the Hellboy movies because again, I thought they were scary. Now I'm watching the thing and I'm laughing.
And yeah,
And I'm going, "Oh, this is great. He's actually a good guy, this guy."
yeah, yeah.
And when I was producing a film in '07 and I went to all the um
Festivals?
yeah, there were so many ads for the Hellboy movie, and everybody was
Oh,
talking
yes.
about it. And I just was like, oh, that's another horror movie. Well, it wasn't another horror movie.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was a really neat movie with a lot of lessons, a lot of good guy, bad guy, good guys win. I just thought
Yes.
it was great.
Right.
And
Right, yeah.
this horrible person that was born in hell could be a good guy. I mean,
Exactly.
same.
Exactly. And
I was like, who knew? I didn't, if it wasn't for this, I would never have seen that. So,
I had the same reaction, by the way. When this was presented to me, I was not familiar with the comic books that came ahead of time. So this was sourced from a comic book a property. And so when I was presented with the offer to play Abe Sapien in this movie, Guillermo del Toro sent me home with a script and a stack of comic books to get the idea of source material. And now here's what we're going to do with the movie. And I saw the title Hellboy, and I was like, oh.
yeah,
Being a lifelong Christian, I'm like, how am I going to explain this to my mother? That kind
I
of thing,
know. I
right?
thought the same thing, but I know you and I thought the same thing.
Right, right, right. So but then as I'm reading the script, it's like, oh, exactly the reaction that you had. And I called Guillermo del Toro that night and said, okay, as a Christian person, this movie is the opposite of offensive. It's actually kind of encouraging. How did you do that? He said, well, it was never meant to offend anyone. He said, it's basically it's a statement on what we drag from our past into our present. And what better example than a demon from hell with his origins? Can he overcome that by living a righteous life today? I thought, okay, I'm in. That's the message I want to help tell. Absolutely.
Right. That's right. That's right. And then Pan's Labyrinth, I could never get over that movie. And what was
Yeah.
that like? What was that?
Well, that was another artistic masterpiece of Guillermo del Toro's, and also with multiple Oscar nominations and
I
wins.
know. I was like, look, I on one of these pieces of paper, I've got 20 nominations and 20 wins.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
So
a big deal, kiddo.
a
That is
lot going
a
on.
really big deal. 20
Um,
nominations and 20 wins. I've got one nomination and one win, but actually not a win. One nomination. Yeah, yeah, the wins were for something smaller, like Soap Opera Digest Awards or
yeah,
whatever.
no, and right, and those are most of my wins, or like
Not an Emmy.
a film
I have
festival
got
lifetime
20
achievement award.
nominations and
Yeah.
20 wins. I'm like, okay, then. No wonder I had such a good time working with this guy. Oh, and I still have my key.
Oh, I do too. I don't have it right
Yeah.
offhand, but that's the key to Wilmore, Kentucky, where we filmed our episode of Destination Heaven, which now, by the way, it was a Destination Heaven. The whole 6 episode series lived on PureFlix, the streamer, and now they've moved it over to Tubi as well. So you can, if you don't subscribe to PureFlix, you can now see it on Tubi for
Oh, good.
free with some ads.
I'll have to tell people that.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
My daughter just did she did three verticals.
Yes, that's all the rage now.
Yeah. And the first one was romantic, second was romantic, and the third one is like a Disney movie. And she was
Really?
so charming. She plays Charlotte, and
Mhm.
it's Charlie and or Charlotte or Charlie and the seven frat brothers.
Uh-huh.
And she moves in, it sounds like ah, but
Yeah.
she moves into their house and just and cooks for them and cleans for them like the seven dwarfs, they're
Yeah.
the frat brothers. And it's so charming and she's so wonderful in it that I
Mhm.
can't wait for everybody to see it that I send it to because I'm gonna have to do that because the reason I brought this up when I first started watching it, it was like $10 for 20 minutes.
Oh. Oh, really? The verticals. Yeah, of
ten
course.
dollars for another 20 minutes, or you could buy the subscription for $69 for the year. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to pay as I go. And after a while, I give her a call. I'm like, I'm already into this $50 and I haven't seen the whole thing yet. She goes, Well,
Right.
I can send it to you. I said, Well, now's a good time to tell me. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because how many subscriptions to all these different things are we
How many
supposed
can we
to
have? I know.
have?
Yes, I know.
I
I
was
know.
happy I had Disney so I could see Hocus Pocus.
Oh, yes, 1 and 2 now.
And then
Yeah.
I watch Hocus Pocus almost all the way through, and I still don't see you. And I call somebody. I'm like, "Is he in this? Is he in this?"
Oh,
And he said,
yeah,
"Toward the end.
yeah.
I think
I
it's
was
toward
I
the
was the
end."
dead zombie guy.
Yeah, well, I didn't get that far because it was almost to the end.
Oh, really?
Unless I missed the Zed zombie guy, I was looking for the real cute guy with the hair.
Right. He's kind of green and wrinkly, and with long, big, wild
Yes,
rock
yeah,
stuff.
that's the guy I saw in Hocus Pocus 2.
Yeah, well, okay, I come out early in Hocus Pocus 2. In Hocus Pocus 1, Bette Midler summons me from the grave, and I come up and
I
I
must have
play.
missed it because I watched it pretty strong.
I come up, but yeah, I show up here and there throughout the movie, and then I'm at the very end too.
Well, I was
Uh,
glad I had Disney because I didn't know I had Disney. So I
there
did.
you go. There you go. Okay.
People say, how much do you pay for such and such? I'm like, I don't even know. I don't even,
It's right.
yeah, it's so many things. I don't even
I don't
know.
subscribe to all the things I'm on either myself.
I think I do though. I don't mean to, but I think I
But
do.
yeah, you're
Yeah,
paying for it. Okay.
I think I do.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm a big Bette Midler fan.
Uh,
And one of my best friends who helps me with this show, Christian Keys,
mhm.
he said that he was I don't know, he loved he's gay. He loved all the things you've done. He especially loved the Shape of Water picture. And
Mhm.
he loved the Hocus Pocus stuff. I guess he was raised on that.
Yeah.
And
I hear a lot of, how old is he about?
20 something.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
an age. The kids of that age have grown up since they were this big, watching Hocus Pocus every year at Halloween time. It
They're
airs on
going
the
to know.
Freeform channel all month of October in high rotation,
Uh-huh.
and now 1 and 2 both do.
Yeah.
And and it's just become like it's become what the Wizard of Oz was for you and me.
Uh-huh.
An annual sit down with the family, pop the corn, make a night of it, as opposed to just watching things on our device as we come and go.
No, this is a
It's a sit
thing.
down movie.
This is
Yeah,
a big thing.
it's
It's
a
a family
get
thing.
together, have the party. Yeah.
That's right. It's the
So
popcorn deal. And I
which is
like
it's a
families
lost thing these
families need to
days.
do that a lot more often. We do it at Christmas.
Exactly.
Watch
Right.
Harry Potter every year over and over and over
There
and
you go.
over and over and over again,
There you go. There you go.
Um,
So Hocus Pocus became that for Halloween. And I'm proud to be a part of something like that. So I've become if so when I meet people, like I do the convention circuit with the fans,
I
and,
know.
and
They're
so
everywhere. Did you just
so
go to Germany or was that last year?
Germany was last year. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I saw that today. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, jeez.
But doing that, meeting fans one at a time that come to my table, I hear lots of stories about growing up with Billy Butcherson from Hocus Pocus, and oh my gosh, and it's like I'm having flashbacks to The Wizard of Oz. If I were to meet Ray Bolger, who played the Scarecrow, I would wet my pants because it's such a right. So I
Wasn't he
totally get
awesome? He was
if there
so
had
awesome. We
so if
loved
these
him. We just loved him.
I know, my
No,
gosh,
we
yes,
loved him. His face, everything about him was just
he was
lovable.
adorable. I
Yeah,
know. Yeah,
really awesome. But
yeah.
I still had to watch The Witch and those horrible monkeys from the hallway.
The monkeys were freaked us out, didn't they? I know, I
Stand in the
know.
hallway and watch them like this. That's how I used to watch Dark Shadows. My
Oh,
mother,
yeah, yes.
mom would come in to turn the TV off in the family room and she'd say, oh, somebody left the TV on. I said, don't touch that. She goes, where are you? I said, I'm over here.
I'm watching from here.
I really,
Oh, sweet Tanya.
every day I did that because I just can't see too much too close. It gets in my head. I told you.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't want to miss it.
I know. You're right, right.
Don't want to miss anything, but I
No,
don't
I
want to
know.
be
I know.
haunted by the darn thing. So, Wicked is now everywhere.
It is. Yeah.
And I just interviewed Richard Klein from Three's Company. Do you know Richard?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I had him on this week. He's on this week.
He was the neighbor, right?
Yes, and
Yeah,
he
loved him.
actually discovered me at the Miss USA pageant. He got me started.
Is that right?
Yeah, if it hadn't been for him, I wouldn't be doing this for a living.
Wow,
So
that's wow.
I
God
owe
bless him.
him. I
Yeah.
owe him a lot. Yeah, but he just finished playing the Oz. He played the Wizard of Oz in the touring
Oh,
thing.
is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I would have known because I would have liked to have seen him.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
totally.
it's. I saw it on Broadway so many times with my kids.
Yeah.
Probably 12 times we saw Wicked on Broadway when we lived in New York because
Yeah. Wow.
everybody everybody went they were in kindergarten, first grade in New York City, and you
You
just go.
just go again and again. Let's
Yeah,
go again.
yeah. And if I wanted them to see something different, I would say, well, I'd like to take you to see Beauty and the Beast. No, we want to see Wicked, um,
Okay.
and so I just kept pushing, and they always loved what I got them to finally go see.
Hmm.
But it was always, let me just do what I already do, what I already like.
I trust your taste. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was fun. So,
Hmm.
so the Star Trek thing, I worked with William Shatner on TJ Hooker once.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
hmm But I don't know anything much about Star Trek because
Yeah.
it was on when I was little, and then I didn't really watch that kind of thing that much. And
Right.
this Discovery is like huge. It's how
Yeah.
many years has it been on now?
Well, it's off the air now. We just our last season aired in 2024, so we're done now. But we lasted 5 seasons, and in the climate of television now, that's a pretty good run because a lot of
Oh, it
series are
means you
on
get
it. So
residuals for the rest of your life. That's what
yeah,
that means.
let's hope so. Let's hope so. Yeah.
Yeah, that's five. That's the number. That's the
Okay. Okay. So, but that was a nice surprise later in my career. Being someone who's worn so many rubber bits and played so many monsters and so many aliens and from outer space in so many things, I was asked all the time, like, have you ever done anything in the Star Trek universe? Because there's been like, several series and movies in the Star Trek franchise. And like, nope, haven't yet. I can't believe they haven't come calling yet. And so finally, when Star Trek Discovery came, that was the first of the new streaming uh, Star Trek shows. And a bunch have happened since us, but we were the first one after the television, airing. Star Trek Enterprise with Scott Bakula was the last one that was on the air, like maybe 15 years prior, and there hadn't really been a TV series since
don't tell
then.
anybody, but I love that guy. I think he's
Oh,
amazing.
love Scott. No, I
Love,
love Scott. No, yes,
love
and
him.
the boy can sing. He's good.
Everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But he so when Discovery was going to be the new wave of Star Trek shows on the Paramount Plus streaming service, I was just honored to be a part. Like now the franchise comes looking for me, and I got to play a Kelpian alien named Saru, And the Kelpian species was brand new to the franchise as of this show. So I didn't have any actors to emulate from before. I had to develop him, and I got the chance, and it was an honor to build this species up from the ground up.
It's the greatest thing ever to create characters. I mean,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love doing that on soap operas. It's what I did for years.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
then
And
you
can I
get,
compliment you for a second? We talked about Destination Heaven before the series, the episode you and I did together. Knowing your soap opera background and knowing the drama that you have played before, you were hilariously funny in this episode. It was a very funny show,
thanks.
and Dean Batali wrote us both like just like the funniest moments
It
together.
was great. It was
I loved playing with you, and you've got great comedic timing, and
thanks.
it was goofy and fun.
Thanks. I'd love to do that again. I would
Yeah,
love
I know.
it was
Yeah.
be a blast. So in character arc that you have, is it Saru? Saru.
Saru.
Okay. It says you start out to you're these there's a name for these people.
Kelpians.
Yeah, okay. They're too sensitive, too nervous, too scared,
We're
too
nervous and
afraid.
sensitive and scared.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
it's
you kind of come around and you change. How did you
right.
create that arc?
Right. Well, I didn't know that arc was coming, to be honest with you. When I season one and into season two, my baseline was fear. He's a species that's born into fear and stays fearful, and we even had these things that came out of the sides of our heads that were threat ganglia. So if there was an unseen threat, we could kind of sense it and go ah, la, 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 right. So that was who I was. And my home planet of Kaminar, there was a predator species called the Baul that kept us under their thumb. So we were kind of like subservient to them and bowed to them. And they did these mercy killings when we got to a certain point where our threat ganglia would inflame, and it was like, well, this is the end of your life. It's going to be hell for you. So we're going to go ahead and do a mercy killing and get you off out of your misery now. That's what we were trained to believe. Well, I'm the first Kelpian to get away from the home planet and join Starfleet, go through the Starfleet Academy, and now I'm a high-ranking officer on a starship by myself, no other Kelpians around. All of a sudden, I start going, and I've been living in fear and overcoming it day to day, doing my duty and doing my tasks, but still having that undercurrent of fear. So, uh, but this one episode in season two, the writers threw me a curve that I go through this. All of a sudden, my threat ganglia get inflamed, and I'm going through this end of life a season called Vihari. Well, and I recognize it. It's like, oh, I know it's coming. I've seen this happen before. It's time for my mercy killing. I had like flu-like symptoms. I was kind of sickly and trying to get through this episode. And finally, I asked the lead of our show, Sneakle Martin Green, who played Captain Burnham. I asked her to do a mercy killing for me. And big emotional scene between the two of us. We were like brother and sister by this time. She takes the knife and gets it right to my threat ganglia to cut them off, and that was going to kill me. Well, they end up going thump, and falling out on their own. And all of a sudden, it's like, I feel way better. Right? And all the fear was gone instantly. And
Wow.
it was like waking up after a bad fever. It's like, I feel so good now. And that undercurrent of fear gone. Now I had a confidence and a courage that I'd never had before. And what
There's a
grew in
message that's so strong in that. Do people
well,
talk to you about
no,
that all the time?
this is yes, I
I
get
mean, that's
people.
such a huge that's a
It
message.
is, right?
Message. Yeah.
And what was replaced, what grew in the place of those threat ganglia were quills, like spiky quills that now, as an adult Kelpian, I didn't realize I hadn't gone through my adolescence yet. And there I
Oh,
am now, right? So now with these quills, I am a fierce fighting machine. I can shoot those and kill anybody I want. So it's like,
wow.
oh, the
So much
Baul.
power.
Right, right. So, but the Baul on our home planet knew this about us, and that's why they kept us under their thumb and lied to us. You're going to die. We're going to put you out of your misery before you become a threat again. Because
That's right. That's right.
they,
That's
so
what a message.
right,
Golly.
right. Isn't that crazy?
The
And so,
messages in these things are incredible.
right.
They're
There's your
like
science fiction.
fables, aren't they?
Yeah, totally, yeah. And so what happened then for
Where
me
have I
personally?
been all these years?
I know.
I didn't realize there was so many messages.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
there's always been something in Superman, something in Batman,
of course,
huge messages. These are
yeah.
almost like biblical.
Yeah, right. And what I learned as a lesson personally, as Doug Jones, a person who has lived with anxiety and fear and some depression over the years in varying degrees for various reasons. But it's like I walked through Saru in this fictional setting, and I realized the world around him and the day-to-day threats and fears that come and dangers that come at him, those are still there. The world around us is not going to change, but our attitude, how we respond to it, that's what changed. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to do that now. Instead of looking at the unknown and saying, "Oh, I'm terrified of that, and we're all going to die." How about like we're going to get through this, and God's on my side. We've got each other. We're going to get through this. It's
And
like
I'm going to grow quills, and if anybody gives me any shit, I'm just going to.
I do. I have got more power than I thought I did. Exactly. Exactly. Right.
I
Right.
love that part. I
I
always
do
play the
too.
villain, so I especially love that part. You know, you think
Right.
you're going to hurt me? I got news for you, pal.
Okay. Got news for you, baby. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, I wish I could be more like that in real life, but I've always
Yeah.
liked that in my characters. It's been fun.
Right. Right. Right.
So I saw um, when your mom, something about your mom, when you went to a town and everybody knew your name.
Oh no! I love this story. It's going to be in my book one day. Thank you.
Okay, so tell
Uh,
me.
yeah, my mom. Again, my mother was not really. She also not into the horror, sci-fi, fantasy, comic books, superheroes. Not.
When I read
But
that, I was like, she's like me. She's
yeah,
like,
but she dutifully went to see everything I was in.
of
It was
course.
she would tune in on TV when I was on something. She would go to the theater if there was something playing, and then tell me later, like, "Oh, honey, yeah, it wasn't my thing, but you were good." That kind of thing, right? So she's sitting in a beauty parlor at home in Indianapolis, Indiana, and she's getting her hair done. And her hairdresser and some other hairdresser are talking about, "Oh, I just rewatched Hellboy the other night. Gosh, I love that movie." And my mom was like, "I think my son's in Hellboy, you said, right?" She goes, your son's in it? What did he play? Who is he? What did he play? Well, he played a blue he was a fish, I can't remember his name. Something Abe, and the girl goes, "Your son is Doug Jones?" And then all of a sudden everybody, this is Doug Jones's mother. Ah! So all of a sudden she's like,
I'm
well,
famous.
yes.
I love it. I love it.
I love that story.
And it's
And
great that they knew your name.
that was just it. Yeah. And that was the year that she stopped sending out her Christmas newsletter calling me a struggling actor. She'd been calling me a struggling, right? She referred, and my son Doug is still a struggling actor. So she finally dropped the struggling part
Oh
after
my
the beauty
gosh,
parlor incident.
that is too funny. That's really funny. Oh, I love that. I know those Christmas newsletters. They go out.
You
Everybody
know
one. Yeah, I
how the
don't think
family's
people do them
doing.
as much now, but
Yeah,
everybody.
no, I know, right? I know.
I always love getting especially
Yeah,
when
I
you
know.
talk to people at Christmas. Sometimes you only talk to people at Christmas.
Once a year, and you catch
When
up on their
your
lives,
life
and
gets really big and you just don't have time to keep up, and
right,
you're in 12 different places,
right, right,
and
right.
you have friends in 12 different cities, and
Exactly.
it's really nice to find out
Yeah,
everything that's happened with them.
yeah, yeah.
So, how's your wife?
Mrs. Laurie is great. Thank you. We've been
Yeah,
married now for 41 years.
I saw that. I saw that. I saw your birthday pose.
Well, another landmark. I just turned 65. Okay.
I'm right behind you, kid. I'm right
You're
behind you.
Look at you. You look like you're 20 nothing. Shut up now.
September.
Yeah?
Yeah, this
No?
September. Yeah, I got the Medicare stuff coming in the mail.
Come on now. It's on. It's so weird. It's
This
like,
cannot be happening.
no, it can't be happening.
It cannot be happening because in my head and in everything about me, I'm 45.
No, I know, right? We still picture ourselves back there. And it's when I'm in a room full of 20 somethings and I'm relating to them, like we're bantering back and forth, and then I catch myself in the mirror. It's like, well, okay, you're not them.
I might feel like them, but I'm not
I
them.
know, but I get it. Okay, we're yeah. I could be their dad or their grandfather now.
And we're to keep that in mind because some actors think they can be their husbands,
Yeah. Oh, okay.
and it does happen.
I know. I've seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy, crazy,
Yeah.
crazy. I've been on dating sites. This show started out called One Date to Love because I was on these dating sites after my
Oh,
husband died. And
yeah.
I was clueless. So I thought, well, I'll do a podcast about it and I'll get all this feedback and I'll learn something. I didn't really learn much, so I changed it to One Day to Love, so everybody could just come on and talk about whatever they wanted to,
Right.
that they love.
There you go.
But it's really weird when they put that they're 65, and they want somebody between 30 and 45.
Yeah, who's fooling who here? Come on
And,
now.
and they see my picture and they like it.
Yeah.
So I teach them a little lesson and I write them back and I say, well, I'm way out of your age range, but thank you so much for the compliment. Bye.
Good for you, baby. Okay. Yes.
Because
No,
I think that takes a lot of nerve to be 65 and want somebody that's 45 and say it out loud.
and say it out loud, right? That's yeah.
Yeah, just don't say it out loud.
Just don't do that. Right. That makes you look like an ass.
It
I know.
really does. It really does, and it makes me feel like you are. So I'm not going to go
Right.
with you anyway.
Right. Right.
It's a really strange time. A really strange time.
Isn't it though? No.
Yeah. So what are you interested in doing next?
Well, here's the thing, Tanya, you caught me in the right year to ask that question because uh, we might have discussed this when we were working together on Destination Heaven. I was on a little break from Star Trek Discovery. I that we filmed in the middle of my last season on Star Trek, and by season 5 of Star Trek Discovery, I told our showrunners, I'm getting weary of the rubber and the glue, and this show has made me want to never play monsters ever again. So might I lighten the load a little bit? Is there any way to write Saru so that I'm in not the entire season? So I'm in the first 3 episodes and the final 2, and in the middle 5, I'm not in. And that's when we were able to film Destination Heaven, which I was in. I was in heaven filming that with you because I got to play a human with some funny backstory
I loved it.
lessons to learn along.
I was really hoping that I was going to keep working for that company because I love the message.
Yes.
I love the Christian message. I loved it. I
Yeah,
love the
no,
wholesome part. I love the family deal.
family friendly. I love all that too.
I love the comedy in it. I thought it was great.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I was really hoping that would continue. And somebody told
Right.
me that there's the company that owned PureFlix
Yes.
was Hallmark-ish, and now it's the Great American Family Channel.
Great American Family Channel, and
Yeah,
they're in cahoots with PureFlix.
I really, really want to work for them because I want to do that kind of work,
Mhm. Maybe you and I could play the parents of someone because they always have parents on those movies.
Yeah, I really want to do it.
I would love that.
Really
Let's do that.
That's what I want.
Okay.
Because I don't really, I'm a conservative, and I think I told you this. I got canceled for saying stand for the national anthem.
Oh, which is something we just grew up doing.
Yeah, I wrote it
Yeah.
on Twitter though back in 2017, and they'd put me back on the soap, and then I got a call the next morning that they weren't going to pick up my story. And so it wasn't it was 11 o'clock at night when I did the tweet and 8 o'clock in the morning when I got the call.
That
So,
fast. Oh, I'm
that
so sorry, love.
fast, that
I'm
fast.
so sorry, love.
So
I
am
know.
I, because I'm a widow. I've got 2 kids. It was cruel, really.
Yeah.
So, but there you go. So, since then, I've been doing a lot of other things. I've been writing a lot. I've been writing a big, long 12-episode miniseries.
Oh, yeah.
And that's taken up a lot of time.
Good.
And then this show, but now I need to make some money, so I gotta find a job.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I love doing that. I thought that was really fun. I wanted to ask you about this makeup thing. How did you end up? Most people that become actors have this I want everybody to see my face thing. And
Yeah.
you don't say it out loud, and you don't even know that you feel that way about your face, but you do want to be recognized, because the way you find that out is that when you are recognized, your heart just pops right out of your
Isn't it
chest.
wonderful?
Oh
Yeah.
my God, you know my name,
Yeah.
It's you don't mean to be that way, but it's really amazing, right? So
Mhm.
how do you end up playing things where people don't see your face?
Yeah. Well, at first, when I was young, in my 20s, when I started, and then I came to Hollywood land with the dream of being the goofy sidekick. I know I'm a character guy, so I'd be like the next door neighbor who comes in and does an armpit fart and says something funny and leaves.
You would have been
That's all the
Larry on Three's
aspiration.
Company. You would have had that. Yeah, so many
There you go.
ones like that.
There you
Yeah.
go. That would have been me. So, but then being 6'3" and weighing only 135 pounds and having a mime background, it's like all the creature effects people like him, they could build things on me, not get too bulky, and I could know how to move in it. So that turned into, I got snatched up by the creature effects world and was referred behind the scenes for the next job and the next job. So I didn't meet many casting directors in my early days because
You
I
just
was
got
just getting
work.
I was just getting into productions directly from the concept art to the production, and they would, yeah, hey, that's the guy then. Okay.
So that's
So
the good news. That's the incredibly good news that
that's
you're
the incredibly good
job
news.
after job after job after job. I mean, that's like
Right.
a what's
Right.
like a dream for people.
And at first, one of my first big gigs that went from a regional commercial campaign to a national one to a worldwide campaign was the Mac Tonight campaign for
I read that.
McDonald's.
I saw that. And
It,
I
it was
love
a,
it. Back the knife, and you
hey,
just
it's Mac Tonight. Hey,
and I remember that whole
yeah,
thing.
right. So those commercials, I ended up doing 27 commercials for McDonald's over a 3-year period.
God, next time we go out, you're paying for
Well,
lunch.
that's how I bought my first house.
I
Yes,
bet
thank
it
you.
was.
I know, right? Thank you, McDonald's. So, so that's kind of, and I wanted everybody when I went out in public, I was like, I would wear Mac Tonight jackets and things like, hoping that someone would ask me about it. And when they weren't, it's like I got to a point, job after job, where I was like, you know what, this is okay. It's kind of nice to be in big blockbuster movies and go to a coffee shop and nobody knows who I am, and that's kind of a nice dual world I get to live in. I get the best of both.
On the one hand, it is.
Yeah,
But on
but
the other hand, there's this thing that you need claps. You need,
validation. Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
you do. You
but I
do.
grew into that finally because when the bigger projects that I was in now were getting a lot of press, and I would show up in DVD bonus features with this
Right,
face interviewing about the role that I just that they
right,
just watched.
right, right.
Um, Especially like when Pan's Labyrinth came out, I was the only American actor in the movie that spoke English as a first language, so I did a ton of press for Pan's Labyrinth. Then after that, Hellboy 2 came out right away. More press. The Silver Surfer movie came out right away. More press. And then when in 2017, when Star Trek Discovery started airing its first season, and The Shape of Water came out just in time for Oscar voting, right? It was like a ton of press for both things, and most of the big press outlets, whether it was a magazine or a TV thing or even like a really really popular podcast, they all wanted to do a retrospective piece on, okay, this is the guy, he's been under this that, so they would do a career piece on me. So a lot of people for the first time were seeing my face and going and marrying that to all these characters they've seen over decades of my work.
That's what I'm
So
going to try
now,
to do on YouTube. I'm going to try to put up all the different things that we've done because I
oh,
think it's brilliant. I found all these
thank you.
trailers and all these movies.
Yeah. So thankfully, because of that kind of coverage, now when I go out into airports or malls or the grocery store or restaurants,
You
I'll
get
have
recognized
waiters and
now.
TSA agents going like, "Are you?" And then I'll get that a lot now, but not so much that I cause a mob scene. So I'm in the perfect pocket,
It is a
just
good,
enough
it
to go
is
like,
good.
"Oh, thank you for validating me," but
Yeah,
not too much. Yeah,
yeah, that's good. That's good.
yeah.
I remember I went to when I was really popular when I was on soap operas. I was off for 20 years. So, but when I was on, I went to a CVS in Hollywood with my mother, and we were just buying a couple of things, and the lady behind the cash register said, "You drink milk?" And my mom said, "What do you think she drinks? Blood?" And
Ah.
the lady goes, "Yes, kind of, sort of, yeah."
Yeah, wow, that seemed too wholesome for you.
I
Yeah,
was
for the
really a bad girl. But it
yeah.
was funny.
Wow,
You
that's
drink, you
hilarious.
drink milk? Yeah, it was. It was funny. It was really fun. Um, that is one of the best things though about being, you feel appreciated, especially when you're not doing any theater. It's just, there's no
No
applause.
live audience, exactly.
Yeah,
Right,
so it's
right.
really nice to be appreciated. But
Yeah.
that's what these Comic-Con things must do for you.
Oh, for absolute certain, yes. When there's a line of people waiting to tell you how much they love you, you
Isn't
just
that
can't beat
it's
that.
outrageous? Yeah, we used to do that with soap operas, but it's
Yeah, of
not the
course.
same as the
Yeah.
Comic-Con. I think that the Comic-Con's off the chart. It's just off the chart. And people come from thousands of miles away
Miles
to be
away.
there. And they'll
I
do
know.
two or three or four. It's not like it's only do one a year. I mean, they go
Yeah,
from Chicago to San Diego to New York to Florida. I mean, they just go all over the place.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I just did a big convention last weekend called Monster Palooza. It's a big celebration of monsters and those who make them. So a lot of creature creators are in on display, and they're doing makeup demonstrations and all the nine yards. And they have actors who have played in lots of monster movies and TV shows. So that was a huge convention for me, and I had a line out the door for 3 days in a row. And it was just lovely,
Wow.
just
So
lovely.
wonderful.
Um, and but I'll tell you what I love about it most is when I hear the personal connection that people have with something that they've watched that you're in.
Mhm.
I hear a lot of stories, and you must have too, in your day as an actress, knowing that that you have been a part of someone's healing from cancer while they're getting their chemo treatments. They watched you, or a little escape after a divorce, after a death of a loved one. I hear a lot about that.
So do
My
I.
dad and I used to watch you on this, and now when I see it again, it reminds me of him. What a warm memory that is. No, these are lovely stories to be a part of, and you don't know that when we're filming something, we don't realize that that's the afterlife it's going to have, and it's really
Right.
a blessing. I
It
love that.
is. It is. You don't realize how much you're giving back to some people, and it's
Yeah, we don't know.
really good, you know. So I don't know how this latex thing works, but could you explain it a little bit?
Well, as far as like the process of
How does it
transfer.
go? How does it work? What do you do? I know you sit there for hours, like this guy here, this guy.
Yeah, that's Abe Sapien from the
Yeah.
Hell. No, I'm sorry, that's Saru from Star Trek Discovery.
How long does that take to do? And those are
Right.
your eyes. I see your eyes.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
nothing else of you.
What you're looking at there, though, is weeks worth of work. So
Weeks worth?
when people say how long does it take to get makeup on, I'll tell them weeks. But most of that work is done before it gets to me.
Uh-huh.
That means that they've done a life cast of my face, and so there's a plaster version of me that they can now do clay sculptures on to create a look and a shape of this new character. Then they'll run molds of that new shape, and they'll put latex foam rubber or silicone in those molds to create the mask that will then get glued to me. So it's a perfect match to my bone structure, with the exterior being this new monster. So what happens at the creature shop when those molds are made is they'll do fine work on the sculpting. So that means all those wrinkles and crevices and all the intricacies, that's done at the shop ahead of time. And then a first run paint job is done too. So they do highlights, lowlights, shades, color scheme, all that is done at the shop. Then gluing it onto me and getting the edges blended in and doing a final touch up of certain color is the last step. And that only took, for the one you just showed for Saru on Star Trek, it only took 2 hours a day. And that's not bad for that intricate of a look to be just 2 hours.
Does it hurt?
The longest one ever.
Does it hurt?
No, well, I wouldn't say hurt. I would say annoys, sure.
You get
Because
itchy?
everything you think it would be, it is,
It
right?
is. Okay.
Right. So
Okay,
you're
that's
right.
what
Yeah,
I thought.
it's heavier than you want it to be. It's in when you're encased in rubber, you might schwitz a bit and sweat, and it stays in there and gets moist, and like you can hear your own sweat sloshing around.
Yeah.
Yes, itchy, of course. Any and all places. You just have to kind of overcome it mentally. And just the weight and the cumbersomeness, and depending on the design, and every creature is going to be different. And some are very, very elaborate and extensive, and some are more humanish with a little bit of accentuation. So
Mhm.
it's a crapshoot as to what the new creature is going to cost you, comfort wise. But we somehow live through it, and that's why again, now that I'm 65 years old, I'm leaving some of that rubber and glue behind now. I'm pursuing more human characters, and I've been doing one indie after another of late.
Oh,
That's
good.
a whole range of humans I've been playing, and I've been loving it. And I'll never say never to the monster world. If the right offer, the right movie, the right director, the right character, the right story comes along, then yeah, I'll still say yes to the right thing. But I'm not pursuing those anymore. Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's a happy time of life to reinvent this way.
that is good. It's also good to see you do something that's totally different for you. And
Yeah, thank you.
and a friend of mine told me that you're in something, and I tried to find it and I couldn't find it. Things that we do in the shadows, what we do in the shadows.
Oh, it's a TV series called What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah,
Yes.
all right.
A hilarious show. It's
Okay, I'm
like,
gonna have to find it because I looked
yeah,
at I looked at the trailer and I thought it was funny, but I didn't see you. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I got to get to the one where he's in it. I have to.
Yeah. Well, the series actually is a spinoff from a movie by the same name,
Okay.
and it's a reality show style. It's like The Office, but with vampires.
Oh my God.
So yeah, no, so that right there, I'm sold, right?
I love that.
Yeah.
The Office
So
with
so
Vampire.
it's like a
Did they
reality,
tell you
like
that when they pitch
yes.
it to
Oh
you, or
yeah,
did
yeah,
you
yeah.
make it up? They pitched that.
That's the pitch, right?
I
So,
love that.
you've got like a handheld camera type feel to it, catching a real family of vampires in their day-to-day life, and it's just the most zany. It makes fun of every vampire trope. I mean, every vampire legend. We make fun of it on that show, and I've been a recurring character on the show, so I show up maybe 2, 3 times per season. So not a whole lot, but just enough that when the
That's why
Baron
I
shows
didn't
back,
see you. I need you to
that's why.
I need to find out which one you're in because I loved it. I really did love it. I just wanted to find you. I was looking for
Yeah.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So well, I just was wondering like what you were going to do next, and I guess you're going to look for parts to play with me.
There you go. That you and I really want to work with. I do. I want to work with you again.
Okay.
And you
I'm
know what?
there. I'm there.
You and I played not married but boyfriend girlfriend,
And you
and
dumped me.
I dumped you. I think our breakup scene was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. This guy was.
Can I take
I
this
was.
Bible with me? Well,
Well, it's kind of mine. You can get your own. It was.
you can
Yeah,
get one at the
you just.
church.
Yeah, he just found Christianity and was thinking he was doing it right and thought that dumping you was the best thing to do. And you were having an actual emotional attachment and connection to
To the
this world
Bible, the story, and the whole thing.
you wanted to share it with me, and I was like,
Yeah.
this is my thing. You go find your own thing. What a
Yeah.
horrible. He was horrible. So yeah,
My thing
yeah,
with God is a one-on-one deal. It's
right.
like,
And I
the
and I
car salesman part,
and I tried to blame
customer,
our
and
break and I tried to blame our breakup on God. It wasn't really you or me. It was really him.
God wants
But
you to break up with me. That was one of my lines. So God wants you to break up with me.
right.
I'm gonna have to borrow that sometime. And it was really fun. It was
I
really
know. I know.
fun.
Great fun.
And I love working with Harry and I love working with Dean. It was just a
Yeah,
really
Harry Lennox was great, and oh,
nice.
I don't know if you saw the entire series, but his consistency as the God character was just
I thought it
beautiful.
was fabulous. I thought
Yeah.
it was fabulous. I had him on my show. He was on the show.
Oh, did you? Oh, good.
Yeah, he and his wife.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Yeah, it was great. I have a lot of wonderful people here, and it's a
Yeah.
wonderful podcast. You can listen to it in the car, and it's a happy show. But everybody wants to know more about people that they admire and love and watch, and
Yeah.
everybody's gonna love hearing about you.
Well,
I
I
know
hope.
this for sure.
I
I
don't
know
know.
this for sure. I only had one other question about the silver guy.
Silver Surfer
Is that what he is?
from the Fantastic Four sequel.
He looks so hot.
He's beautiful. Yeah. Eh,
I'm like, if I was a monster, I'd go
okay.
for that guy right now.
Okay. Yeah.
He's so chiseled and so hot and so, and
Again, thanks to rubber and glue.
but I couldn't get over it. I'm like, what is this in? Because I couldn't find what it was from. It's from
Oh,
Fantastic Four.
yes, the original the Fantastic Four sequel was Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer. That's the character.
Okay, well then that's on my, that's
There you
tonight.
go.
That's
And
tonight.
that's a family friendly superhero comic book style movie. And Jessica Alba was in it, and Chris Evans and Michael Chiklis
Oh
and
wow, all
Ellen
these great
Griffith.
people. I love
Yeah,
those.
they were the Fantastic Four. They were
Okay.
great. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that one, you're hot in that.
Thank you, babe. Thank
Tell
you.
you, you really are. You got it going on in that.
Well,
Really.
it was a transformation that was probably like the sexiest, most handsome I've ever been on film.
It was incredible. I was like, whoa.
Well, it was a rubber muscle suit that pulled up, and then a head that came over that they glued down onto me. Again, that same process I talked about with the molds made on me. So it fit me perfectly, but it added cheekbone, jawline, brow bone that was like very handsome.
Major jaw. Major
Yeah,
jaw.
no,
Like,
okay, right.
yeah.
And they also then they gave me just a perfect V-shaped body with the best backside. I had a
I'm
nice looking
telling you,
body.
I was like going, okay, I want this guy. I'm
Well, I wanted
surprised
to
I'm
wear
having these feelings.
I know. And it was
The
funny how
cartoon, Tanya.
right, right. Because when you're a tall, skinny, goofy character guy, the world reacts to you a certain way. But when you come out of your trailer looking like that,
Everybody wants you. Everybody does.
no, I noticed a complete demeanor change in everybody on the crew. It's
Did
like, and
you?
you know, and
Really?
women were flipping their hair at me and like, hey, and I'm if they
Want
knew
to
that
have
there's a
one?
scrawny little old man in here, they're not going to want this. Yeah.
No, you're very cute, honey. You're cute.
Oh,
You
you're
got
adorable.
a great face, great personality, incredible talent. I still
Uh,
don't know how you get your body to do those things that you get your body to do, which is
yeah.
nasty, but it's not. The fish, you know how you do this thing when you're the monster in the Shape of Water and in the other one, where
Mhm.
these quills and your back just goes like this, and
No.
it looks impossible. I mean, it just looks impossible. I
Well,
don't,
something you have to remember when you're playing a monster is that you're embodying it from head to toe. The makeup or the suit will not do the work for you. I really have to internalize it, and I have to give him an ecosystem and a reason for being and a reason for the movement.
of
So
course,
it does take an actor, not just a dancer, to do this.
of course.
Right, so you have to internalize all the things an actor should do: wants, needs, loves, fears, what's my objective in this scene. All those things have to be there, and then what comes out of that then is this design and how to move it, that's motivated by all those things. So thank you for
Some of
that.
those movements were just like unbelievable. I
That's
mean,
very sweet.
almost
Thank you.
otherworldly, and it's supposed to be otherworldly, and it
Well,
was.
exactly. Thank you.
It was fantastic. Well, I don't know when I'm going to see you again. Maybe I'll have to come to a Comic-Con.
There you go. There you go. Or
But
I'll
you keep me in touch of what you're doing, because I'd love to come see you. I'd show up at one of those things. I don't want to wait
okay.
3 years to get up in front of the line. I'm going to have somebody hand you a note.
Oh, and I also owe you a hello from some you may or may not remember an actor named Russell Todd.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mentioned I was going to be doing your show today. He's a good friend of mine, and he said, "Oh, I
Oh,
know Tanya. Give her my
he
love."
totally knows me. Oh, I love
Yeah,
that. Tell him
yeah.
I said hi.
I will indeed. I will
I
indeed.
love
He was on Another World for a few years,
and
and
yeah, we're all in a family. Like
a
we
big
all
fan.
know
Yeah,
each other. It's pretty awesome.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
just shrunk. It's shrunk a lot.
No,
Yeah,
I know that world is. I know. I know.
that's a shame. After O.J. Simpson, that's
Right.
what happened. Everybody watched the White Bronco, and all the networks were like, "Hey, that that White Bronco on the highway and that court scene, that's getting more ratings than the show. So
So
let's,
reality took over, right?
yeah,
Yeah. It's a shame. I love soaps.
yeah, me too. I still do. I still do.
Yeah.
And that they're all at night now, though.
Yeah. Right. Mm.
Everything at night is a serial. Didn't
Kind
used
of is,
to be
right?
that
Yeah.
way. Yeah, yeah. And then everything they're doing in Hollywood, which is much less than they used to be, unfortunately.
I know, right?
Mm, it's terrible.
I've never seen our business like this before. Yeah.
40% of the business is gone.
Mm.
Yeah, they moved. So I don't know if it's really gone or if it just moved.
In other states and countries, yeah.
Yeah, my friends are moving to Atlanta
Yeah.
and London and
Yeah.
Toronto.
Okay,
So
right.
I'm just
Canada.
hoping it comes back here because I've got two kids that just moved out here. So
Oh, okay. Yeah.
my youngest just left New York at NBC to be in LA.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So
Well,
might have to create something for them and see if
yeah,
I can figure that one out.
there you go. Keep writing, right?
Okay, I am. I
Yeah.
am. Much love to you and your beautiful wife, Lori. And thank you so
Thank you,
much for
Tanya.
being here and making time for me in your
Of
schedule. God,
course.
thank you.
Well, thank you for finding me a worthy subject too. I really appreciate this. It was
Thank
great
you. Okay, I'll
fun.
talk to you later, honey.
All right, love.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye. Well, that sure was fun. I really enjoyed that. I hope you did too. If so, please like and subscribe below. Also, leave me some comments, and I'm going to put some links down there to some of the talk. Shit. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm sure that you've had a good time listening to Doug. I certainly did. I'm going to put some of the clips links down below so that you can find some of the things that he's done. In case you, ugh. Thank you so much for being with me today. I'm so happy I could introduce you to the Doug Jones I know and love. I'm going to put some of his clips down below, or at least some of the links to his clips that he's mentioned in this interview, because in case you missed them, you need to see them. Leave me some comments below and I'll get back to you. And thank you so much for being with me. I've got another Star Trek guy I'm going to interview on Saturday, and he'll be with us next week. Take care. Hope you're having a wonderful weekend, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.